Hi, I'm Matthew Borie with Osprey Flight Solutions, bringing you our weekly update. We continue to track the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic globally. What we've seen in the past couple weeks is leading civil aviation governing bodies, to include both EASA and ICAO, have started to send specific guidelines and recommendations to airports, airlines, and countries on how to keep air travel, aviation, airports, including aircraft passengers and crew, safe and secure as we start to see a relaunch slowly take place across the globe of global aviation traffic. The EASA safety information bulletins and the ICAO document line by line go through specific measures that can be taken to not only minimize the risk of spread of COVID-19, but also how to keep airports safe and secure, as well as aircraft disinfected and ready for proper operations. ICAO has also outlined specific data that operators and civil aviation authorities should be tracking and monitoring to understand the spread of the pandemic, its impact on aviation, and what measures aviation entities can take to stay ahead of this outbreak and its effects on air travel. We advise that you stay informed on Osprey alerts on the developments related to these topics, as well as visiting ICAO, EASA, and other civil aviation governing body websites, which entirely contain COVID-19 pandemic updates. Conflict zone overflight continues to be an issue in the Middle East region. We saw Germany extend its overflight notice for Iraqi airspace. And later that day, after that notice was issued, Baghdad International Airport was targeted in a rocket attack by militants. Luckily, at this time, civilian air traffic at the installation is minimal. However, cargo and repatriation flights are still taking place, as well as military air activity at the installation. We expect to see additional attacks like this take place in Iraq in the coming months, and we assess that airspace to have a persistent threat to flight operations within it due to the conflict zone environment. Israeli airstrikes into Syria have not abated. We saw another couple sets of those take place over the past week, with the Assad regime air defenses responding on at least one occasion to those. Separately from conflict zone overflight, we're also tracking smuggling activity that's taking place related to the use of air travel. Interpol just announced a large bust of a trafficking ring that was involved in antiquities trafficking, as well as potentially other forms of illicit goods trafficking, to include narcotics. The arrest took place in both Afghanistan and in Spain, and it highlights that this type of activity is not specific to one region of the world, one location, but that smuggling activity needs to be monitored, especially as a relaunch happens and as illicit and criminal groups start to potentially change their ways and means of going about this type of activity. Please sign up for our Osprey alerts via our webpage, and sign up to receive updates on our LinkedIn page so you can see our next weekly update. Beyond that, stay safe.